Hey, what's up guys? I'm B from Tactical Baby Gear, and today we're gonna take a look at the Nuna RAVA car seat. Now, full disclosure, we do have a relationship with Nuna, but they did not ask us to make this video. They don't know we're making this video. They don't get to review this video. We bought this with our own money so that we can help you guys make more informed decisions. And if you appreciate that sort of thing, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Let's get into the car seat. Let's open this bad boy up and take a look at it. Now, right here on the front, I will just sort of point out, they got this big red sticker. It basically just says, before you tear this box open, make sure that this is the product that you intended to purchase and that you receive the product that you ordered, because once the seal is broken and you try to return it or exchange it, they are going to trash the seat or the product that is inside of the box for safety reasons. Obviously, they don't know if it's been damaged, and they wouldn't want to compromise the seat by, putting another child in it after that. So before you rip this thing open, make sure you've got what you want to have. What do you think the inspirational quote in today's box is going to have, T-Dog?
I have low hopes on this one.
Hit the road ready. I like that one. The one in some of the other boxes, they're hit or miss.
Yeah, that's
They're hit or miss. That was a good one. Okay, now I ordered this in the caviar color, which is black, basically. Oh man, how do I get this out of here? While I'm picking it up, I'll let you know. This weighs in at 27.2 pounds, I believe. I'll give you a few of the specs along the way, but really more importantly, we're gonna wanna see what this thing is like actually putting it in a car and go through a lot of the features that way in sort of a real life scenario. Handy dandy pocket knife. And a lot of this stuff, by the way, these like registration cards and things, or warranty cards, are super important to fill out and send in. That's the sort of thing that you really want the company or the brand to have on file in case of recall or something of that nature, so they can reach out to you and say, hey, you want our help taking care of whatever the thing might be. So, make sure you fill those types of things out and send them in. Cool, I like the black infant insert in here. Some of the other ones are gray and it gives this contrast, which is cool, but I think I really like this all black. Where do we want to start? Let's read off a few more specs real quick. That way we kind of have an idea and an understanding of what this seat actually does, and then we'll go throw it in the car and see what's up. So this seat is capable of doing a rear-facing position, which is going to go in the car just like this. This would be the front of the car, this would be the back of the car, and you can put an infant in this seat. So it'll go from 5 pounds, they say, as an infant in this seating position with the infant insert, all the way up to a whopping 65 pounds in the forward-facing position. And then that would, you would turn that around in the car. So again, you're still got the front of the car and the back of the car, and it's seated in more of an upright position. So that's really cool. It does have cup holders on the side that flip up from the sides, and then there's like this little silicone drop down thing. It has it on both sides, as you can see here, just like this. It measures 19 inches wide. So if that's important to you, I know some, depending on the size car you have, how many of these you're trying to put next to each other. I don't think you're gonna get 3 of these next to each other in any type of bench seat unless it's a really large vehicle. So that's something to consider and keep in mind. You know what else I noticed? This one doesn't come with the organic insert option, unless I missed it. Let me look in the box. No, it does not. I did confirm, nothing in the box. A lot of their stuff comes with a separate insert that is like an organic cotton material with no dyes and things. So if you have skin allergy problems and things of that nature, there's an option for that, but this one does not come with it. Okay, let's take a look at some of the details here. Seat belt, everything you would expect about the seat belt. The height adjustability thing, does it have, oh, that was way easier to remove than some of the previous ones that snap in and things. There's like a little thing that slides in behind. Probably less secure, but way easy. These inserts should come out, Nuna says at 11 pounds, you should be taking out these infant inserts. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take it out of here and get it out of the way so we can take a closer look at some of this stuff. But one of the things I'm curious to know about is the seatbelt adjustments. A lot of car seats have the holes for shoulder adjustments, and many of them you have to go back behind the seat, under the seat, remove it from the vehicle, and unweave it, move it to the next set of holes up as your child grows, and it's like this constant thing, and sometimes you get lazy about it, and then they're in an uncomfortable and unsafe seated position with the seatbelt position. So this looks like, yes, there's a handle up here that moves the headrest up and down as they get bigger, and it automatically is going to change the seatbelt harness position in relationship to their shoulders. So like, that's such a big deal. That is so nice to have in any car seat. Huge win there. The rest of the features on this is really going to be related to installing it in the car, I think. You know, again, I'll show you the different positions here real quick. Leans back, there's a push button release to move it to the different positions. Ooh, there's a button there. What does that do? Oh, what was that? So the side impact protection, which I think just gives additional impact protection, I guess, obviously, but it moves in and out. Did you see that? I don't know if that just gives like an additional impact zone to crumple in, or if it does something else. I guess we'll figure that one out, but that's a thing. The material on this is sort of like it's like a neoprene, similar to that exec seat that we looked at. It's like a neoprene material on the sides, very soft, you know, against their face and their skin and their arms. Down where they're seated in the butt area feels like more of a cotton or a nylon or a polyester, similar to our bag material on our diaper bags. So super durable yet soft. So that's cool. You got your seatbelt adjustment there. All right, that's enough of the specs and some of looking at it on a table. I think we should go throw this thing in the car and use it and see what it does in a real life scenario. All right, so I'm gonna take you guys through a little bit of the install process, but this is my legal don't sue me disclaimer. This is not meant to be an installation guide. Obviously, you want to refer to the instruction manual on installing this in your vehicle. And as always, if you have any questions or concerns, either reach out to Nuna, or you can always go to your local fire department and they will help you install a car seat and ensure that it is installed properly, because the best seat your child could be in is the one that is installed correctly. Okay, now that I got that out of the way. We're gonna put this thing into rear facing mode first. So I pressed the recline button and got that into the rear facing position. And then Nuna's got things color coded. So blue is gonna be forward facing and red is gonna be rear facing, and that's gonna correspond with these different locations and where the seat belts are gonna pass through. So then we gotta open things up. This is actually pretty cool. A lot of car seats I think have this. I don't recall which ones do and don't, but there's this little guy here where you can store the buckle to get these out of the way. So if you're doing something like this, or you're getting the baby in and out, it just helps get those seat belts out of the way. So we'll pull these cushions up. Let's see what is involved here. I assume it'll be like some of these other Nuna seats that we have reviewed. Okay, so we'll just open this little door here. Ooh. Some instructions. Belt is best. Yes, they do include these restraint straps that can get hooked down into the seat, but they highly recommend and suggest you actually use the physical seat belt because it is rated for a lot more. So if that is an option for you, definitely use it. All right. We have to lift the cup holders up. And then we can pass the seat belt through just like this. And then buckle it in and just sort of pull the slack out of it. Now keep in mind, this is not meant to be a fast process. This isn't your typical bucket seat that's clicking in and out of a base. This isn't meant to be taken in and out of the car all the time. It's meant to be in here sort of semi-permanently, you know? So really take your time to make sure you're getting this stuff right, because it's gonna be in this position for a while. All right, we'll close this door. That'll help pull the rest of the slack out of the seat belt. It feels good, it's secure. And then we'll put the cushions back in place. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. We're in business there. One thing I want to see is how this might interfere with the back of the seat, so let's check that real quick. Okay, so this is obviously very specific to this vehicle, but I was able to put the seat back far enough and recline it once it started to just barely touch that seat into a position where I think I have more room with this seat than I did the traditional sort of bucket infant seat with the base, because this seat is taller back here and it's not interfering with the seat until it hits the headrest versus the other one which sits a little bit lower and it's hitting the back of the seat. So I wasn't able to go back quite as far. So I've got a few more inches of leg room here. I'm 5'9", and I think if you were under 6 foot in this vehicle or similar type of vehicle, you wouldn't have any problem at all. But again, it does feel like more leg room than the other seat. And keep in mind too that they should be in that rear facing position until they are about 2 years old, or at least 2 years old, I should say, at least 2 years old before you turn them around facing forward like this. So we'll pull these guys back up. Oh, let me not skip a step here. You've got this rear restraint strap. So they've got a nice keeper up here, so keep all the extra length of webbing not all over the car, and I have a nice place that it stores here on the back of the seat. You'll want to pull that loose, slip that through to the back, because you'll want to secure that to the rear anchor point, and that's going to keep the seat from tipping forward in an accident, because that lap belt is going to be coming through back here a little bit, and it's going to help give it more security. And so lift this up, we'll open the little door here. We can pass the seat belt through, get it buckled in. All right, pull a little bit of that slack out. Close this door down on the seat belt. Oh yeah, it's gonna be nice and snug. We'll secure that rear anchor point. We'll get these closed back up, and we are in business. Now again, if your child is growing, you know, you'll have this height adjustment of the headrest. So adjust that as necessary for your kids. You got your cup holder. This thing pushes down so they can put their little juice box or whatever there. Let's see if the door closes with this cup holder open. Yeah, cool. I got good clearance here. And for reference, the vehicle we're testing this in today is a 2001 Lexus LX 470. So it's, you know, a mid-size SUV similar to like a Ford Explorer or a 4Runner, things of that nature, sort of that mid-size SUV, smaller than a Suburban or an Expedition. Okay, so after getting this seat in the car, one thing we found out is that there is this additional calf support that folds out from underneath the seat. And Nuna claims on their website that this will give an additional 2 inches of leg clearance in the rear facing position, because this will butt up against the seat when you strap it in, and it'll give, you know, a little bit of extra foot room here on the front of the seat. And then to release this from underneath, you got to pull it down and then it'll fold back just like that. Let's get into a couple of things I like about the seat and a few things I don't like about this seat. The first thing that I like is that it is very premium. It is very nice. It's very confidence inspiring. I have no concerns about putting my child in this seat and that sort of thing. Another thing I really like about this seat is that it's very simple to use. There's really not a lot of moving parts. I mean, the headrest goes up and down, yes, and there's the little calf support and things like that, but otherwise, that's kind of it. There's not a lot of moving parts to it. It's very easy and simple to use. So some of the cons about this seat are the size of it, in my opinion. I think it feels big to me. I think in a smaller car that this is gonna feel like a really big seat. It's 19 inches wide, and in comparison, and not to get into such a comparison type video, but we just looked at the Nuna Exec, which is their sort of top tier, higher end seat. It's only half an inch narrower, but it feels smaller. I also think that this has a slightly shorter lifespan because it does forward facing and rear facing, but it does not do the booster seat sort of position. So as that kid kind of grows out of this seat belt and needs to get into more of the using the car seat belt across here. It doesn't go into that booster seat mode, which something like the Exec does, but you do pay for that. So whether you're buying another seat after this or you're just paying the premium once and having all 3 seats in one is something to consider, and I'll leave that up to you. The only other con to this seat that I can think of and have come across is the fact that it doesn't come with those organic dye-free infant inserts, and I think that's important. There's a lot of babies with a lot of skin allergies and skin irritation concerns, so I don't know why this seat doesn't come with it, and all of the other Nuna products that we have does come with that. So that's sort of a negative on my list of this seat. Otherwise, I don't really have anything else to say about it. Those are some of my first impressions and my thoughts and opinions on it today. We will be doing a long-term review on this, and then we'll come back with sort of that real-world review and see if there's any other nitty-gritty details that we can pick out of this seat. Otherwise, if you want to see more videos just like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.